This is a script to allow you to migrate your YouTube content to Odysee. Hopefully, I don't need to bleep that out to avoid the censors. Some quick notes. Obviously, since this is a Python package, you're going to need Python. So this should work with anything 3.8 or newer, but the only one I've tried it with is 3.12. So that's one I recommend installing if you don't already have it. If you already have a different version that's 3.8 or newer, just go ahead and try it, see if it works. If not, then you can upgrade. Cool. Right now, there's some kind of issue with Odyssey where if the video is higher than 1080p, it seems to not load. At least that was my experience. The only videos I had issues with were ones that were non 1080p or sub 1080p videos. So I've limited it to only get 1080p. If your video is not even available in 1080p, maybe the max res is 720, then it's not going to get it. Additionally, the lowest frame rate it will grab is 30 FPS. If your video is available in 60, it will get 60. If it's not, it'll get 30. Cool. There also seems to be an issue with shorts. I tried re-uploading them and they worked, but the first time that they uploaded, for some reason, they would have no audio, or they would only be audio on the iOS app. I don't have the Android app, and it didn't happen on PC, so I can't confirm either of those. I deleted them and re-uploaded them the same way, and it seemed to work fine. I don't know what caused that. So if that happens, try deleting and re-uploading. If it still doesn't work, you may have to manually upload. Most of these instructions are for Windows, but should work on other things. You're going to need the Visual C++ build tools. This is completely free. And click here, go through the installation process. When you get the option, click Modify, and then you can select Desktop Development with C++, and then click Install, and you're good to go. So the first thing we're going to do is create a virtual environment. So we're going to copy this. We're going to open up VS Code, terminal, we'll cd into documents. We're going to run that. Python -m vinv and YouTube to Odyssey is going to create a virtual environment directory for us. And then we're going to open that directory and we're good to go. Now, back over here, you're going to want to either use GitHub command line if you know how to do that. If not, you're just going to download the zip folder and then you're going to extract that zip contents. You don't need GitHub or gitignore if you don't want to deal with that. Just you may have to paste them into the actual Windows File Explorer. And there we go. You have those in there. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to download Libre. So I've already got this installed, but basically it is a desktop app for the decentralized backend of Odysee. So go ahead and install it, run the app, and log in if you already have an Odysee account. If not, click here, go sign up. It'll automatically make you follow my channel. So there you go. Nice little bonus. And make sure that you have a channel created for your content. If you have multiple YouTube channels, you can add them all as one, or you can just add one channel, but you will need the channel name later. Then you're also going to download the LibreNet SDK. So this is actually a local server instance or node instance for Libre. And so it's going to be what we actually send the video files to, and it will process them into blobs and store them on your system and then push them out to the different reflectors. Additionally, you're going to need to make sure you have enough LBC. So this is the cryptocurrency that is used for Odysee. I know that sounds scary. You don't have to spend actual money. So what you do is as you do things on the platform, you get LBC. So invite links give you 1 LBC for every person that joins, which will give you enough to process like 1,000 videos, which is, enough for a lot of people. But you can also get some by watching, X number of videos per week and that kind of thing. So eventually this is going to be replaced on Odysee by Arweave, but right now it's LBC. If it changes and I'm able to, I can try and update the script. Okay. First thing you're going to do is you're going to open up the migrate to Odysee script, and we're going to replace 2 lines of code here. So open this, On line 17, you're going to replace the word replace with quotations https colon slash slash www.youtube.com slash, and then it's going to be your YouTube username. So you're going to do that. And then here you're going to replace the word replace with quotation marks and then your Odysee channel name. A lot of the Odysee channels will have a colon and then a 0 or some other number or letter after it. You don't need that unless you have multiple channels of the same name within your account. If you only created one of that name, then you don't have to worry about it because you're only logging into that one account. You can adjust your bid here. The minimum, which is 1/1000th of an LBC, is plenty. You don't have to do higher than that. If you've dealt with cryptocurrency before, it's not like gas fees where if you try and skimp, you might not get it. It's going to work. Higher ones allow you to basically claim that title as yours. Other people can name their videos that, but if someone goes to odyssey.com slash that video title, it will go to yours instead of anyone else's. Cool. The next line that you may want to change is line 80. If you want to only process X number of videos at a time, you can uncomment this line. So you can click on it, do control slash, or you can just remove the space and the hashtag at the beginning. The way this works is it'll do 1 through whatever you do. So if you do 200 through 250, they'll get videos 200 through video 250. So keep in mind that it is one count. So if you do 1 through 100, then do 100 through 200, it's going to detect video 100 both times. So just keep that in mind. Cool. Those are the only ones you'll have to change if you want to use it. There is a line down here where you might have to add something, and I'll talk about it a little bit later, but it's line 266 where you may have to put a PO token. So now that we've changed what we need to, we're going to save this, and then we're going to activate our virtual environment. You're going to click down here, click terminal. Now in VS Code, it will automatically enter the virtual environment. As you see, we've activated it. If you're not in VS Code or some other code editor that does that for you, you're going to do /scripts activate, and that will activate the virtual environment. If you are on Linux or Mac, you're going to do source /bin activate. Both those commands are right here. Once you've activated, you're going to copy this. This is going to be used to install your Python packages. One thing you might notice is that pip may complain about libtorrent or another package's version. If that happens, just run pip install that package name and don't put a package version number. Sometimes it thinks that it needs a certain version that it can't get for some reason when it doesn't. So I'm going to run pip install -r requirements. They'll go through and install everything we need. And so this is the point where it might warn that a wheel file failed to build, and that would be when you would need Visual C++ build tools. If it works without going and installing them, you probably installed them at some other point. So that's fun. Okay, then you're going to need to install this extension that allows you to get your cookies as a text file. Here's the version for Chrome, Brave, Chromium, and for Firefox. Just install it. And then what you're going to do, going to open a private window. You're going to go to www.youtube.com, and then you're just going to add /robots.txt. But basically what normally happens is your cookies refresh and change every so often on YouTube. But by going in a incognito window to this URL, you're getting a permanent cookie as long as you don't ever refresh this page. So what you're going to do is go up here and click on that extension that you just installed, export as, and we're going to go to here and we're going to call it cookies, save, boom, you have a cookie file. Just completely close it out, and then you never have to worry about accidentally refreshing the page. That should give you a perpetual cookie file. Next, you need to run and start the LibreNet server. So we're going to copy this command, and we're going to go over here. We're going to add a new deal here. One thing I forgot to do is we're going to take the LibreNet.exe and we're going to drop it into place and do that. I'm going to blur a bunch of that out because it gives like potentially identifiable stuff. But as you can see, it failed. The reason why being we have Libre running. So this actually has a version of this server running, but it's a little inconsistent on whether or not the app works with it. The one time I tried it, it didn't work, even though it should. So we're going to exit this and then we're going to rerun. And now it's running. You may get some warnings and errors and stuff. It is likely due to just it not liking your IP address and stuff. You can pretty much ignore that. It'll still work fine. Cool. You can actually restart the Libre app at that point if you would want to. You don't have to. All right. Now you can run the script for the first time. This is an example script right here. And so we're actually going to use this and go over here and run this, except we're going to remove the end date. If you don't have end date in here, it's just going to assume today's date. I'll explain these a little bit more in depth, but basically what you're going to want to do is type in Python, migrate to Odysee.py, and then the start date needs to be either like when you created your YouTube account or the day before you created your first video. And then content type, I would set it to all. And then temp folder, just do .temp. You can set this as a route to like a different drive if you want to, but it's not going to store more than like one, maybe two videos at a time. So unless you just don't have a lot of space on your main drive, you should be fine to do this wherever you got it. And then you're going to put your cookies file. We'll hit enter, and this will take a second, but what it's going to do is it's going to go and find all my videos of video, short, and live stream type, which right now I only have one that is findable by the script. If it's unlisted or privated, it's not going to find it. So keep that in mind. And then it's going to store all that information in here. It's only one video, so it's not a lot. But if you've got hundreds or thousands of videos, this is going to be a lifesaver because each time that you run the script again, it's not going to have to go and fetch all this data and run like 4 or 5 different queries per video, which is more likely to make YouTube think you're a bot. So run it once, get all this information, and then you're just going to type in cancel and hit enter. Let's go back. Here's the different command line options. You've got start date, which can be any date in month, day, day, year format, just like Americans. I know, I'm sorry, but I'm American. So you can go in and change the script if you want to. End dates you don't have to have. It'll default to today if you don't put one. Same date format. And so that's the date range it's going to find. Now, when you run the script, no matter what, it's going to pull the data for all videos of the content type that you give it. It does not matter what dates you put because it has to pull that data and then check the dates. So then you're going to put your content type. And so you have videos, live streams, shorts, or all. I would run it once with all just to make sure you have all the information and don't have to do a bunch of queries later on. And then you can split it up by type. So if you only want to move your videos at first, then your live streams, then your shorts, you can totally do that. Your temp folder is where videos and thumbnails are going to be stored temporarily while they're being downloaded and before they're uploaded to Library. Cookies is your cookies.txt file. It's technically optional, but not really. So go ahead and put it. Verbose, if you're starting to have, bugs and crashes and stuff like that, and it's just not working, go ahead and throw that in there, and then you can use that to provide more information to the issues tab. Once you press enter, it's going to run like I showed you until it has collected the information on all videos. If you ran it previously and you uploaded more content or made more content public, it's going to have to fetch that data for those videos, but it's going to just reuse the data it's already downloaded for the same videos. So if you like updated your description for one and you want it to get that then I need to go in and delete the entry for that video in the video log file. Keep that in mind. Once it runs and gives you the list, you have the option to input a space separated list of video IDs that you want it to skip. So let's say you have a handful of videos that are really long. You don't want to process them right now. You just want to do a handful of the short ones. You can give it the list of IDs for those. Or if here in a minute, when I show you this, you can use the log output to get the videos that already got uploaded, and then you can have it skip them in the future. Once you've given it a list of IDs, you can press enter and it will give you another option to input IDs. So you can just keep doing that over and over until you've removed all the videos you want to if you didn't find them all in one go. And then if you leave it blank and hit enter, it'll actually start migrating. The script will begin processing one video at a time. It will download the video and thumbnail and then attempt to upload it to Odysee via the local LibreNet server. If the server stops, it will fail, but it will try on every video until it finishes. So make sure the command line for the server stays open and that you don't turn off all the monitors and stuff and let the computer go into sleep. Once the script is done, you will have a migration log.txt file that will show you what happened. It will warn you about videos that failed to download or upload. If the video was already migrated, you'll see an entry saying valid claim exists and that it skipped the video. The videos are uploaded roughly in order of the date they were uploaded or streamed to YouTube, though sometimes they are off a bit, sometimes they get a little out of order. But the upload date from YouTube is used on Odysee, so a video uploaded to YouTube January 1st, 2025 will appear as that date on Odysee as well. To retry uploading failed videos, the end of migration log.txt should have two lists of video IDs, successful uploads and failed uploads. Copy the space separated list of IDs in the successful uploads list and click into the command line interface where you last ran the script and press the up arrow key, tap enter. This will then give you the list of videos it found before, and then click into the command line again and press Control V to paste that list of successful uploads and press enter again, and then click it again. So what that'll do is just remove the ones that are already uploaded. It shouldn't be needed because it should just skip those automatically, but it will reduce processing time because it's not going to have to call out to Odysee and check to see if those videos have already been uploaded. Saves you a little bit of time. Troubleshooting stuff. If a bunch of videos say that download failed at the end of your log file, then check your network connection. You may have just lost internet. Also check the command line. If you see a bunch of entries from YouTube DLP about failing connections or YouTube blocking or anything like that, it's probably YouTube thinking you're a bot. So you may have to try refreshing your IP, waiting a little bit, letting it just kind of forget about it. If it says video publish failed, then check to make sure your LibreNet server is still running and that you haven't run out of space on whatever drive you configured for storing blobs. That's a big deal. We'll talk about that here in just a second. If YouTube DLP starts giving you stuff related to PO tokens and Saber formats, you're going to want to go to this page and follow the instructions on how to handle that. It'll tell you about getting the PO token and what to paste. That's what you're going to put in line 266 down here. So you would do comma and then the PO token string that it tells you to put minus the YouTube colon. Sitting here pointing at the screen like y'all can see my hand, but you get the idea. I added two functions I added a function, I don't know why I said two, that should make this following section moot, but it has not worked on my machine. Best I can determine is I need port forwarding and stuff, and I couldn't get it to work. Every time I did port forwarding on my router, it just wouldn't allow connections anyway. So I think my ISP may be blocking it. What Libre does is when you upload a video, it turns it into blobs and stores them in a directory, which you can customize here if you want to put it on a drive that has more space than your C drive. More power to you. That's going to, make things a little bit better. If your drive starts filling up, what you're going to need to do is stop the script and just let the server keep running for a little while. If you know you don't have a lot of space, I would just set your limit for how many videos to process to like 10, see how much space you have left, and go from there. Okay. But leave the server running, log into Odyssey and start watching your videos on your PC or your phone. If you have a large subscriber count on YouTube, go tell them to go make Odyssey accounts and sign up and start watching your stuff on there. Because what that will do is tell Libri, hey, we need to distribute this content. We need to pass it around and get it to the different reflectors. That way it's not centralized on just your PC and it's easier to serve that content. So do that. And once you can stop the LibriNet server and still access all of your videos that have already been uploaded, then you know it's distributed and you can clear out the blob cache. You can find where the blobs are at this link here and go delete them. If you have the space to store all of the videos, just go ahead and just start it running and leave your PC. It's going to take a while depending on how many videos you have. I had like 300 and something videos. Uh, and it took like 4 days. Now, granted, that was with earlier versions of the script and having to stop and fix stuff pretty frequently. Most mornings I would wake up and find like half of a video stopped, didn't upload, but shouldn't have as many of those issues with this. So, anyway, that's pretty much it. So, it's not super complicated. It's one script file and gives you everything you need. Once you've migrated all your stuff, I highly recommend unlisting or privating all of your videos on YouTube. The reason to do this right now is because of the decisions that YouTube has made about user privacy and identification and all that. So we need to actually stand up and do something. And one of the best ways to do that is to make YouTube useless. If there's no videos to watch, then there's no reason to be there. Okay. So run this. Once everything's moved over, you can unlist all your videos. Thank y'all. Have a great day.